Welcome, fellow travelers. My name is Al Pianu, owner of the Hidden Dagger Inn. I'm joining Chibi and Vertek at the Golden Feather. Come on in and grab a seat, and let's share some tales of adventure.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your hosts, Chibi and Vertek, discuss Ashes of Creation and important topics spoken about within the Ashes community. At the tavern, we invite you, the viewer, and a special guest to pull up a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. That's yummy. So today is the 19th of July, 2025. We are in episode 241, Ashes of Creation's PTR, and the traveling bard joining us, traveling boy jarding us, is none other than I'll pee on you from the Golden Feather. The Golden Feather. I'm getting all mixed up. My brain is not braining. Too many taverns. We were just talking about how there's so many taverns.
The Hidden Dagger Inn. There is no more I'll pee on you. He's been disbanded.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was chuckling when we rolled in, because that's an older intro. We didn't get a new one from you, which is fine. It's like nostalgia, right? It's nostalgia.
It's all good.
But yeah, we were just talking about how there's so many taverns, and started getting them all in mind and everything. And yeah, they're all the Golden Feather now. Just saying, they're all the Golden Feather. They've all been absorbed, except for the Hidden Dagger Inn, who is on the other side of the tracks. And how is life over there, friend?
It's outstanding. Thank you for asking. It's a nice side of the tracks, where you can come in and feel safe, at least for a little while.
Good. Owensington, killing me. And Chibi, how are you doing today? And what do we have on tap?
Doing pretty well. Aside from our mysteriously green screened drinks, which I cannot tell you the name of, they are secret drinks. Well, today we're going to be talking about a little bit of a variety of things. For one, caravan system. There's been a couple of suggestions that went out there, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about the current PTR experience and immersion and other things leading up to phase 3. And most importantly, though, we will be chatting about Peon. So Peon, you are part of the Hidden Dagger Inn. And you've been doing a lot more streaming lately. And you were saying before we went live, you were talking about wanting to do a 1 to 25 stream. So can you let the folks know what kind of streams you mainly do so they have a taste of what your content is? Sure.
Well, first and foremost, the Hidden Dagger Inn is more of for new and old players, but we really cater to newer players who are coming into Ashes of Creation. We want to build a real helpful community, let people come in there, feel like it's a safe zone to go ahead and ask questions. We kick toxicity out, and we just really want to harvest a really good community, like the Golden Feather Tavern. I also am on the YouTube and Twitch. I'm big into walkthroughs and questing. It's getting those out to people as soon as I know something good. Sometimes quests, especially for me, can be difficult. So I go ahead and have it on a video for everybody, do a nice walkthrough. And I love to do speed runs and leveling, and I will be doing leveling 1 to 25, hopefully in 3 days, and you'll be able to catch it all at the Hidden Dagger Inn. So
very nice.
Nice.
So if an old man dies, well, you know why.
So real quick, randomly, just because you said speed runs, are you a fan of some of the retro games? Like even like Nintendo stuff like Mega Man and all that?
Well, your retro is probably different from my retro. But they're okay. I'm not a huge Nintendo guy anymore. The only thing I really played on Nintendo was Tecmo Bowl back in the day.
Okay.
So, but not too much, no.
Okay. Because I was gonna say there's some really cool bands. One of them's name is Bit Brigade. They'll go through and they'll have a guy sitting there playing Nintendo on the front of the stage, and it's put up on a projector behind him, and the band goes through and plays the music from the game, and they speed run through. It's like a 30-minute game from completion to end. They'll beat any of the old games like Mega Man and whatnot. The guy runs through it so quick sometimes he has to stop and dance around because he's ahead of the actual track
music
for the stage, and the band wants to finish the song, you know. Boy, but so what's your favorite type of stuff to speedrun then?
Just leveling, honestly. To just
level
really, that is the only goal I ever have, especially in any kind of a fresh start or launch. It's to try to get to the highest level that you can, because especially in Ashes of Creation, I feel like that's going to be early. It's going to be pretty paramount. You can make a lot of money early selling gear that you're not using anymore because you're higher level than everybody else. You have an opportunity to get a freehold sooner than everybody else. There's lots of benefits to it, as opposed to kind of taking your sweet time.
Honestly, that is something that Vertec and I have discussed multiple times on our podcast through the years. Is, you know, Steven's whole point of Ashes is that he wants you to enjoy the leveling process and the world and the zones and things like that. But then having certain things where you have to be max level to get them kind of provides the environment for needing to get to max level as quickly as possible to be one of the first people to get a freehold, for example. So I find that kind of interesting. And I find it almost like paradoxical, if you will, because not only are you supposed to also enjoy the zones, but you're trying to also level as quickly as you possibly can. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about one of the guides that you've already put out and kind of what to expect heading into phase 3 regarding leveling. But yeah, once the game is out, you will have to get to level 50 to get a freehold. So right now people are power leveling just to get to 25. And so that's one of those things that I find interesting, and I'm curious to see more of the reasoning behind it, but also like just how the player base handles it. Because somebody once told me a long time ago, not everybody wants a freehold, so that won't be everybody's drive.
No, that's
yeah,
true.
I'm very curious. Now, I believe you came on with one of Peon's videos, right? Lazy Peon. Is that how you found Ashes?
Did I come? Oh, you're asking me? Did I come on with the
the
Lazy
other
Peon video?
Peon.
I don't really remember, to be honest with you. I did watch his video, but I watched many videos. I saw you guys as well. So yeah, that's I saw the Kickstarter and stuff like that and got interested, and yeah, that's pretty much how I got started with Ashes and been following it ever since. And the content creation, you guys are the reason I started getting into content creation. But I saw what a great community it was, and I wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
Share my passion for Ashes.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really
Good.
glad that you kept with it too, because it, like, I was telling you this before stream, but like people sometimes will ask me, how does it feel knowing that there's like other people that make taverns for like the content? I'm like, you realize there's different kinds of taverns, right? His is on like the black market side, you know, you just got to watch your coin purse a little extra, not just with like paying the tavern keeper, but like, you know, you never know. I'm sure there's gonna be bounties.
Sexy barmaids for, you know, eye candy and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly. We need all kinds. District. Oh my god, I could totally see that. Nightlife, yeah. Dolium says, I've been out of the loop on Ashes for the past few months, waiting until phase 3 to jump back into rogue life. Though from discussions in the guild about current Ashes, I have my concerns. Still not happy with where the corruption is at. And honestly, that's something that we can discuss a little bit more too, because they've changed it, but nobody's actually really experienced the change much. So, but let's see, Vertex, do you have any other like about the bard questions?
About the bard, you know, we could probably ask questions all day long, every day. At some point, we got to move in and start picking this guy's brain about matters out in the world outside of him.
Out in the world. Well, I guess to leave off one extra little tidbit, for those of you that may have missed it, we had him on our CC Summit, Unofficial Content Creator Summit, and oh, that needs to be updated.
Yeah, doing that now. Oh my gosh.
Okay. But not Sinful, but Hidden Dagger, who you can actually click on our title and you can follow him through that as well for the moment. But he actually asked a question during our summit about Steven's intentions with maximum concurrent players and if that has changed. And Steven responded during the stream that no, he is still intending on there being 8 to 10K max concurrent player base, despite the numerous calls for mega servers and things like that. So I thought that was very fun, and that was really, really cool to have Steven pop in and answer that question, because that's a burning question a lot of us had. But 8K not enough for both sides of the world. I don't know. I think that that's left up for debate and experiencing, but I think that's why it's 8 to 10 at least. But who knows, maybe with the dynamic gridding, we will see maybe an increase of 10 to 12, which is what Peon, you mentioned before we went live. So let's talk about that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the PTR experience, I guess, and what we're experiencing, because right now they are testing dynamic gridding on the PTR.
Yeah, I did miss that one Tuesday when they did it. I was taking care of my father, but so I didn't get to do it. But I did see Steven's message that dynamic gridding was a success, and even more of a success than I hoped. So that is fantastic news for anybody who doesn't understand the whole dynamic gridding thing. It's really going to be genre changing if they can get it right. This is big. People really need to understand how big this is to be able to. I want you just to think about the Caravan event for an artifact, Firebrand's artifact dropping, and how many people are going to run to that area to try to obtain that relic. And this last time that it happened, there was over 400 people. The lag was, kind of bad. But with dynamic gridding, it's going to move with that caravan part, and it's with all those players, and that is just going to make combat and PvP what games for years have promised and never delivered. So Intrepid is doing something huge, and I hope everyone really appreciates them doing it.
Yeah,
only nerds PvP.
Absolutely.
Bosun, I love you.
I've always wondered why, because games like, and some of the devs came from this one, but PlanetSide and PlanetSide 2.
Zombie!
Oh, Zombie Theory. Thank you so much.
Thank
Cheers
you.
to you.
I need to make another alcoholic drink. This has like a shot of tequila in it, but
I just still love how the drink itself is just gone. You can still see the froth on top sloshing around though.
Yeah. It's the potion of invisibility. Anything that goes invisible on screen is a potion of invisibility to me, though. Looks like water. There you go. It's definitely water.
Totally just hydrating. That's what we're doing. We're hydrating.
But thank you so much, Zombie. Appreciate you. But you were saying, Vertec, about the dynamic gridding.
Oh yeah, I've always wondered why there weren't more games that were able to pull off things like PlanetSide 2 did, where you could have just a ton of people out there fighting against each other. Just, airships flying in, zooming down, landing, dropping a bunch of people off, explosions going on, and those were some intense battles, but just nowhere else seemed to have that many people in the same area. But
I think it was tech. I think it's tech. We just never had the tech that really could do it properly.
Yeah, tech can definitely be a limitation.
Yeah.
At this point, PlanetSide 2 came out in what? Was that 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere in there? So it's been like 13, 12 years since the tech to have that many people on the screen at once battling has existed. It just hasn't been incorporated into MMOs.
Yeah. I will say I had a very fun and interesting bug with testing dynamic gridding. And because the PTR is under visual NDA, I can share this. I duplicated my horse for one, but I could only call or put away the most recently called horse. but I could ride both of them. And if I traded the horse that was working, I couldn't call away the other horse, like the bar would go away. But I could still ride it, and it persisted at least until I logged out. Then it disappeared. So that was one fun thing. I would get onto a server worker, and then I'd move over to the other server worker, and I'd wait for it to disappear, and I'd call my mount. And I reported all of this to Planendorf, and I took a video of me like hopping back and forth between the two and things like that. But one of the other funny things is when they implemented the dynamic gridding, I was trying to go up to the commission board to grab like a commission just to try stuff, and it was completely gone, and so was the NPC. There was no commission board anywhere to be found. I was like, I can't do anything. there's no NPC or board. And then at the moment, if you swap servers, the other people might disappear. So little bit wonky, but I think it's going. I did kind of have a sneaking suspicion that we were already starting to test some of the server workers, because people were talking about like their server number was like increasing really fast. And meanwhile, for the longest time, I was on server worker 2 till I could finally get onto server worker 1. So it was very interesting. Are you guys tracking the community gathering to discuss P3 planning tomorrow? Are we tracking the community gathering to discuss P3 planning tomorrow? I don't know what that question means, Zombie. If you can give me a little bit more context.
My guess is going to be trying to plan out like which nodes are doing what and who's going to be trying to take over mayorship of stuff and things. I have a feeling it's not going to go that easy. It's not going to really be as easy as it was early in the earlier phases, where it was like, okay, we're going to be on our own separate server with these people, and let's play nice and get all this stuff set up and whatever. It's going to be some maybe communication, some maybe cooperation, and it's going to be a little bit more disorganized in phase 3.
Also, I mean, with how quickly things change, you can make all the plans in the world, but Steven ultimately has the say to either pull the plug or add a new server, and then that literally throws all of your plans out the window. And I'm saying that from experience. So it's, unless you're doing like prep for going into a live server, I just don't think it's all that worth like all of that extra brain energy until you're sure what server you're going on and like who you're on the server with. Then maybe talk about it. I do know for a fact that they're giving EU back their own server.
Be part of the guild. That'll help a lot.
Just, inner guild conversations is fine, but like extra outer guild conversations, that's when it's like, it's so questionable. And then also on top of that, you can make all the plans you want in the world, but now we're having vassalization in it, which is changing the entire game. So yeah. It does, but honestly, being a new mayor this phase and having the plans available made it easier. Yeah, but you don't know. You don't, like, literally all that is changing with the vassalization. Like, what you're allowed to be a mayor in. Like, phase 2 and 2.5, like, they spoiled us. All of them were allowed to be village stage. That's not going to be the case. But yeah, that's another thing that they are supposed to add into the PTR for testing soon. And they did hint at Renkai coming out shortly after phase 3 began. So that's pretty exciting.
Almost there.
Dabu.
Dabu. Yes, Triple. That would be kind of cool. If people want to on EU, I mean, no one's stopping them. But yeah. But I guess I also wanted to talk about the caravan system. So there was a thing that went out from Vladis Gaming on his thoughts on the caravan system and to improve the attacker and defender balance. And I did want to add like the caveat of we haven't seen the actual caravan abilities really at play yet. So I wonder if that's really going to change the level, like the playing field, leveling it a little bit maybe. But what were your guys' thoughts? Because this is a topic that's been hot in the community for a while, and I hope you don't mind, Vertec. I'm going to run away and grab some water while you guys chat.
Alrighty, no worries.
But you want to take it for a sec, or okay?
Always guess first.
Caravans. I would say yes. You're right about we don't have the highwayman system or the bulwark system in yet. We don't have those abilities which you've seen in the live streams in the past, like the heals or the knockbacks or stuff like that. One thing I will say is I hope that stuff does come in soon, because right now one person being able to really shut down a caravan, I don't know if it's really intended that way, and I don't like it. Either make the driver defense almost impossible to kill the driver, and then people can, if there's enough people, they can focus down taking the caravan, which is kind of the way I think it should be, or make the skills better to protect the driver. But I don't know about you, Vertec, if you've been on a caravan and just been riding it, and some guys, some little poison pill says, give me a toll, and then he can beat you because maybe you're maybe you're a tank or something like that, and he can beat you real easy with sleep darts and just run away and run you out of mana. But either way, I would like to see some changes to that. But I'm really looking forward. I think that with the caravan event, once they add the highwayman system and bulwark system in with the node citizenships and stuff, I believe you're going to see a lot more citizens running to the aid of people in those nodes to help defend, because you're going to get perks based on whether you attack or defend.
Yep, and there's a lot of the system that's not really in place, and I only say a lot based on what they've talked about they want to do, and that they have plans for adding in progression trees for being a defender or being a highwayman and all that. So there's still a lot that we don't know on what they're going to do. So we can talk a whole lot right now about it's unbalanced, it's not right, and I will 100% agree. As a matter of fact, I will 1,000%. I will more than 100% absolutely agree. Definitely unbalanced. There's almost no risk for attacker. There's zero reward for a defender outside of the person running the caravan. Because every time that comment gets brought up, somebody out there says, well, they can make the most amount of money in the world ever doing caravans. Well, yes, the one single person driving the caravan might be able to do that, but what's in it for anybody else defending or just existing in that same space trying to be a helpful hand? There's zero promise of getting anything. So, like, you can take the comment about it's the biggest gain of money, they don't need any further benefit, and you can keep walking, friend. Yeah, we need something. I actually put a huge lengthy response here to Vladis' post, because I thought it'd be cool if we had another thing similar to corruption that went along with caravans, and that'd be like a banditry system where you could gain banditry if you start to attack a caravan, and if you successfully defeat a caravan, you get more banditry added to your bar. The only way to lose it is to die or defend. But then bounty hunters could get node currency based on how much banditry you have, and you would lose banditry based on how many times you die and how much node currency you give out. So it'd be kind of a similar thing to corruption, but it would be more of an encouragement to defenders more so than a detriment to attackers.
Honestly, I also really liked the suggestion from Vladis on allowing the caravan driver to be invuln, basically, and that you have to destroy the caravan piece by piece before you can kind of hurt them. I like that. I think that adds a little bit more immersion. You take out a wheel, take out another wheel, it slows it down further. Destroy the caravan, and then the crates pop out, things like that. I'd like to see that. But Pocket says, ooh, I posted this on YouTube, Vertec. So suspect flagged defender to a memorandum guy getting hit. To all the PvP mouth breathers, their number one option should be to defend every caravan. They will sustain caravans and gain PvP for doing so.
Yeah, you know what the only problem with that is, Pockets? The PvP mouth breathers that complain that there's no PvP, they don't actually want PvP. They want exactly the PvP that they want. Or else there's no PvP to be had.
I got my water, by the way.
What do you guys think about... I'm sorry, go ahead, Vertec.
I was gonna say, yeah, if it's not exactly the kind of PvP they want, then there's no PvP in the world. Yeah.
I do like his idea of the invulnerable drivers. I think that would be really cool. What would you guys think?
Yeah.
What's your stance on the caravans being totally destroyed? Would you consider being happy if they had to like bring it to a carpenter to replace like a chassis or a wheel instead of
I would
total
love
loss?
to see that. That would be a great item sync. I would love to be able to 'cause think about the time and effort invested into making a caravan, okay?
And gold.
Now, you've got willow, you've got all of this gold. If you have extra willow, you could take it to a carpenter and they can repair it for like half the materials or 3/4 of the materials, depending on how badly damaged your caravan is. And I would love to see something like that. That would be super amazing. That brings a huge pillar back into the crafting system, which is what Steven's all about. And I think it gives carpentry more meaning beyond just I made the caravan and now you like buy another caravan. Now, obviously, if the whole entire caravan gets sacked, cool, now you need to buy a new one. But being able to repair it, I'd love to see something like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that kind of, because I kind of look at caravans and like sport fishing boats and stuff like that hand in hand, or boats in general. That's a lot of money. I lost 2 or 3 caravels in this last phase. Those are 25 gold a pop. So so you're going to scare away the sport fishermen if they have to replace a boat every time. Same with caravans. They're not going to want to put that investment in if they have to do it every time. It's bad enough they're losing their load. Now they're going to have to replace their whole caravan. So yeah, something for Steven to think about.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see that. What are your thoughts, Vertec?
I'm not super crazy about the idea of the 100% mitigated damage, and this is coming from someone who has had most of my. Why is that message not going away? It's stuck.
Oh no.
But yeah, coming from somebody who's had more of my caravans destroyed than successful. Many more destroyed than successful. But I don't know. I just don't think that it gives a fair shot. Go away. Get off the screen. Nope. I hit the wrong one. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to clear this message off. There we are. All right, I got it. That's what you get pockets for having a message that's too long. But
oh,
this is a test trigger.
This is a test trigger. Okay.
It should go away in theory. Not.
Okay.
It's fine. Anyway, yeah, it's one of those things. It doesn't give a good chance to the attackers to actually do something while people are all wiped out. Like, it doesn't give them a chance to actually clear all the defenders and then take a chance to destroy the caravan, summon their own, and move stuff over. And it should be a thing that is possible.
Quinn says, I want the caravans faster than players, but 4 wheels you can't target and break away easier. I should be running 4 to 5 of these an hour and get points for losing. I think it's not how fast the caravan itself is. I think it's how fast the mule or the beast of burden you're using. In 2, towards the end of 2, I had a pretty fast mount. Not the fastest mount, but a pretty fast mount, and I was easily passing up people that had the base mounts. So that was very obvious, and I think they built it that way on purpose so that you buy into the animal husbandry system a bit more. So just like crafters make the best gear, animal husbandrists make the best mounts, I guess. But yeah, is there a way for you to like? Yeah, the wheel upgrades too. Yeah, is there a way for you to manually remove that, or do you have to like hope that it actually times out and then goes away? Sorry.
And don't forget the road speed buffs they're adding in. Those are going to make a big difference. So if you choose to use the roads.
Yep, those are already in PTR. You'll get like a trail buff announcement when you get on and off the trails. So that's been pretty cool. Okay, cool, it's working. But yeah, Dolium and Lulu are talking about PvP in the chat. But I get the idea. So you were saying that you don't think that the person driving the caravan should be invuln. Vertec.
Me, yeah. I don't think it should be. I mean, I think there should be a damage reduction, but not invulnerable.
You think one person should be able to kill him, and how long should it take?
This is where I haven't really developed an opinion on if it should be downable by one person. I think that, I suppose if I were to put it into words, I would say that yes, one attacker should be able to slay the one defender running the caravan, but they should not be able to destroy that caravan before the person can get back and lash back at the sole attacker. It should take, even for a base caravan, it should take a single attacker probably 20 minutes to slay the thing on their own. Like, it should not be an easily broken thing. Because you think about it, if you get a group of, say, 8, a full party to run by and take down a caravan, if one person could take it down in 20 minutes, that means that it would only take 3 minutes for a group of 8 to knock it down. Or less than 3, actually, be like 2.5.
That's fair. Abraham on our YouTube said on the latest PTR, they tested the caravan, and 2 level 25 mages could not damage the caravan, and it took them a long time to hurt him. But he also could not buff the caravan, nor could it be debuffed. So it sounds like they're adjusting how the caravans work a little bit.
Okay, so
good news.
Flattening it out.
Very good news.
Yeah.
Flattening out the curve a little bit, so it's more of an expected time frame to take it out.
Oh no. PTR van driver already takes a lot less damage. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Notastic. So he basically confirmed what Abraham said earlier. Zombie said, I had 3 people on a driver and their van was 1.3 million HP. He was a tank who could just sustain himself and ignore us, and we were never making it through the van. He bugged his own van with a wall otherwise and just logged out, which is kind of poopy, but what are you gonna do?
Well, they
no
fixed
more
the
bard buff
logging out
runs.
thing.
Yeah. Oh, did they?
Yeah, you can't. You used to be able to log out, and then if the van was if you were gone for 10 minutes, the van would disappear. So you cannot do that anymore. All you have to do, if 10 minutes has no combat on it, it will eventually log out, and you can recover it. But if somebody's attacking it, it resets every time somebody damages it, so it will not log out.
So the PvP flag should be on people. If you get flagged, as long as someone's smacking you, you're not going to lose your PvP flag.
I don't know if it's going to work for the people, but for the caravans, to prevent them from logging out, that was a big move, big thing to address.
Again, me as one that'll probably avoid all open world PvP. I can see where there's some baiting and some just accidents happening with things like that, where the 2 people who are both flagged are fighting each other. One tries to hide or run away, and they just try to play out the flag, and they try to just outdistance until that flag goes away, and then they let themselves get killed, or it just happens to occur that way, where the person attacking probably should stop attacking when they see the name start blinking. But I think as long as they get an attack in before that blinking turns into just a white name, or a green name rather.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sure.
Oh, I was going to change the topic, so go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not a real big fan of that whole blinking thing and stuff. I've seen people die when that stuff has gone off to dots, burning damage, stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of the corruption system in general. I wish Steven would just bring in some kind of arcade. Let's refine and make better the jury prison system or something like that, and report blood stains. That was more fun. I'm not a big fan of the corruption. I think it comes with too many problems.
See, for me, the corruption is the exact reason why I'm testing Ashes. So that's the thing that drew me into Ashes in the first place. Without it, I don't know if I would be really here.
But if there was a system that could properly punish people, would you be okay with that? We all know Arcade is flawed as far as that, but it could be fixed.
I think that's what Steven's goal is to be able to fix it. But I think that it should be, I don't know. I'm personally, I think I'm happy with the corruption system the way that it is. It ticks all of the boxes that I'm looking for, and I think it's fine myself. But I realize that I am a PvEer. Yeah, but they're working on that. Baiting.
even with corruption baiting, because 9 times out of 10, it's totally avoidable.
Yep.
It's not like someone goes, Neener, hit me. I'm gonna give you corruption, and someone goes, no, there's no way you possibly couldn't. They get caught completely by surprise.
Out wasn't very avoidable.
Which one?
And so when people would throw out the scorpion broodlings or their basic sway back,
summoning a mount, and you'd kill a mount.
Yeah, summoning mounts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the mount. Yeah, but you just don't attack the. Yeah, you just don't attack.
If you're fighting and their stuff goes off and you're AOEing, it's avoidable if you don't attack. But
I will say
it's avoidable.
They fixed the mounts, you guys. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
they fixed it.
Like, all that stuff was. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the super.
If you're fighting over an area, if they're fighting you, you're fighting them. They're taking their flags on and off. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't usually participate in that kind of stuff. So I've seen a lot of it.
But that's the thing I did for a while when it was actually when I was into it, because our guild was doing stuff and other guilds were doing stuff, and it was fun before it started to get kind of overrun on our server and our people started to tap out. Yeah, I did plenty of PvP. There were plenty of battlefields that had mounts all over the place. You know how many times I got corrupted during all of phase 1 and 2 and part of phase 2.5? 0. Not a single time.
I've been corrupted with all the times.
And with all the PvP I've engaged in, the only time I've ever gone corrupted was on a PTR testing Rogue, and I had confirmation from the other player that I could try an ability on them. I didn't expect it to kill them, but I got corrupted because I was trying to. I used one of the Rogue abilities that lets you like fly over them basically and then damage them from behind, and it one hit KO'd him, and then I was corrupted.
Are you okay with the current corruption penalty? So like I said, I was corrupted 3 times. You get corrupted, you screenshot it, you log out, you tell a guildie to come kill you. In one time, I just have another account on another computer. I had my own guy come and find me and kill me. So, I mean, is that enough punishment? Or the XP debt? You're not losing any gear.
You know what it is?
You do lose gear.
No, yeah, you lose it, but not if your guildies get it to you and give it back to you.
You have a chance you have a chance to get your guildie to come get it. What happens if you organize with your guildie to pop on and slay you out in the corner of a field somewhere, and a party just happens to be running by going to the POI that you just ran
not
away
likely,
from, like a speeding rabid bat, trying to get out of there so you don't lose your gear. You logged off, but you're still right next to a POI.
Yeah.
And someone just rolls over top of you and you still drop the gear. You know what? You're also taken out of PvP and PvE encounters for that entire time you're trying to get that done. You're taken out of the field. You know what? It also pulls another one of your guildies. And your guildie, if you drop a legendary plus 20 whatever thing, shoot, are you going to trust every single guildie to guarantee give you that back? Maybe the one that has time to respond is the shady guy that's going to take it and run. Hey, peace out. I was going to go to Polar anyway, man. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that's always possible, but that's a lot of ifs, buts, and candy and nuts. But
it's true. But that's all we have right now, right?
Yeah.
But also, I genuinely, like, again, I mean, not that it's perfect by any means. But I'm not saying that it's 100% avoidable. I'm saying it's like 98% avoidable. And if you pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings, where your AoEs are landing, where your attacks are, who's flagged, who's not flagged, like you can dodge and stop summoning something, or like I can do judgment or smite, and I can dodge and cancel that. And it's one of those things where I think that being hyper aware of your surroundings and in tune with your surroundings and ensuring that you're not attacking if somebody's flag falls off, etc. I think that goes a long way towards not getting corrupted, because I didn't get corrupted. I will say one of our guildies accidentally went corrupted, and that he was trying to be helpful and he accidentally murdered this poor low level who he was trying to help. He threw down his vines to slow the creature that was chasing this poor lobby, and it got the lobby as well, and it murdered the poor guy.
Yeah.
So
And see, that's I think that's maybe there's a better way I could
that's the
paraphrase
2%.
earlier. Like, yeah, it's like 90. It's what everything for being corrupted is 100% avoidable. There's nothing where it's just going to be an absolute surprise gotcha. But not everybody is going to be paying perfect attention 24/7, so mistakes are going to happen. Mistakes will happen. Some mistakes are easier to make, but everything is 100% avoidable. Because
Yeah.
I've navigated, what the heck was the size of that one battle we had? Well, actually multiple battles where we basically had like a
I don't
40
even know.
on 40 or almost a 60 on 60 battle running all around the desert area multiple times. And there were mounts everywhere and there were people flagging and unflagging everywhere. And I don't think either one of us got corrupted in any of that, Chibi.
I think I'd like the
No.
blinking to be a little bit longer, maybe 20 seconds. That way any
yeah.
dots should wear off.
I would
Yeah,
like to see
absolutely.
like more heads up, like you mentioned. I like that idea a lot. Sorry, they're calling me bloodthirsty and queen of corruption. But yeah, this was also in like very early phase 2 for our guildie, by the way, not like recently. But yeah, see, dots should simply wear off as soon as the blinking stops, because if you can't CC a non-combatant, it should just fall off. I agree. Breeze, why we can't use up on corruption. We can't let the bloodthirst go unchecked. You guys are silly. Man, I'm thinking I'm not gonna play with anyone who plays rogue. It's just too much power and no real consequences to their actions. I feel like, I mean, so a little like shout out to Lloyd. Lloyd actually did a guide on icy veins for rogue. So let me see if I can go pull that up, because I just want to give a little bit of a shout out. He was working on that and he's so proud of it. And I was actually helping him with it a little bit. Mainly just like talking through. Obviously, I don't know anything about about rogue or anything like that. But let me grab the link and share it with you guys. Boop-a-doop. Here's this and this. There we go. But yeah, I think that's one of those things, like for him, he's noticed like them nerfing, and like that whole balance thing is coming. Like they're redoing a lot of the talent trees. They're redoing a lot of how the like Bucky is basically, I mean, not that Rogue needs it because it's a newer one, but Bucky is basically doing a look at all of the original classes that we had and things like that. And I'm really excited. I can't wait because I feel like it's long overdue, and we've been waiting for Bucky and team's touch to these wonderful places. But yeah, one final thing on the caravan system. I do agree with Vlada saying that he thinks that the game should offer something for defenders, even if it's a little bit of node currency for getting to the final destination, because you helped to bring the cargo to that node. So I like that. I think something more than nothing, and hoping that the caravan owner will pay you out essentially would be nice.
Well, I believe they have plans with the bulwark system, the highwayman system for the attackers and the bulwark for defenders. That's how you're going to
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get perks through that system.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. Let's talk about this leveling experience. So you got to level 7 in like what?
7.25.
7.25. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. You were level 7 already.
46 actually. I died once. I had a bad touch moment.
Fair, but our guildie Erwin actually was talking about like comparing notes with you, and you guys were like improving on each other's like methods for getting to level 7 as quickly as possible. So like, what has that been like for you? And you have a little guide. I just put that out there. What has that been like for you? And is that something that you enjoy, like, taking part in, and how do you feel, as an additional question, with knowing that they're trying to extend the time for you to get to level, like max level?
Okay, I'll take these in succession. Yes, I love doing those speed runs. Like I said, I love trying to get the most efficient route as I can, and sharing that with people. we all know that in alpha it's going to be a moving target. They're going to be changing a lot of this thing. So these all are subject to change many times over. But yes, I do enjoy those, and you can always find those walkthroughs and stuff on my channel. That being said, as far as the leveling, I also agree with you. I think that they should keep moving. I think it's too fast to level right now. You know, they say 4 to 6 hours a day on an average player, 250 hours. Right now we're only going to 25. But the way I see it in my math comes up to a level 50 when we go up there, should be able to get level 50 in about 10 days. The sweaty players are going to be paying 18 hours a day, and that's going to come out to about 10 days, 10, 11 days, give or take. I think that time needs to be extended. It's too fast for me.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I think I heard a quote somewhere, getting to level 25 in 3 days is not going to be a thing anymore.
Find out, especially if the anvils are open, because, that's the whole reason we need to keep doing these wipes and these fresh starts, is because new areas, new biomes, new mobs. Not all mobs are going to be created equal. There's going to be some that are giving out way more experience, or some, jacktard is sitting on top of a mountain, trying to abuse them or exploit them. So we'll see.
Vertec, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I have many thoughts on the leveling speed category. But at least dealing with the speedrun video that you put together, it was well polished through.
Yeah.
You can tell you ran that more than once. You ran that more than once.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Multiple versions of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a subscriber ask me if she wanted to see it. Woo, you guys know Woo.
Yeah,
And she asked me to see it or to tell her about it. And I was like, well, it'd be easier for me to show it to you on a stream. So that's what I did. I did an impromptu stream.
I'm dead. Hi.
Yeah, we love us some Pally.
Yes.
For those who don't know Pally, for some reason or another, she's a national treasure. It's true.
Yes. And some of the things she sent us recently is going to be highlighted in the next drink video coming out in the next couple of days.
Awesome person.
I already sent her some sneak peeks, but yeah.
Sneak peeks is good. But yeah, that's a really solid little path. And as far as it taking forever to level, I mean, here's where I think perspective of what it takes to get that much time into the leveling process is important. Because if you're going to extend out and double the time it takes to level up to max by adding in several more grind steps of, well, now instead of killing 50 tigers, you have to kill 170. Yeah, that'll do it. Absolutely not. That is ridiculous. And I will... Sorry, Intrepid. That's the one thing that'll cause me to just walk away from Ashes and not even care. If it becomes an absolute grind fest like that, where it's just... You're extending out the leveling requirement purely just with dragging the process on instead of adding interesting content that's going to naturally extend out the time frame. I'm okay if it takes us literally a year of playing 8 hours a day every single day. I'll be fine if it takes that long to get to max level. That's fine, as long as it's actually interesting. But if it only takes us if it would take me 10 hours of interesting content to level up to max, and it's dragged out to 20 days, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I will not play that game. I would not. So,
Mr. Newtastic says, just remember, speed levelers lose all rights to cry about a lack of end game or late game content, which I pinned on Twitch, but I can't on the stream yet. But my thoughts aren't necessarily that they're going to make it more grindy. So this was actually something that I responded to somebody's thread in the Discord, for the official Discord. Somebody was like, we don't like grindy games, was their quote that they pulled out. And I said, well, actually, Steven never said anything about grinding mobs not being grindy. He said that quests would not be grindy specifically. But what I could totally see in my mind is the story arc being the thing that kind of limits you for how far you can progress at a point in time, where kind of gatekeeping. I can't really formulate exactly how it'd work in my mind, because we haven't really gotten that far, and I haven't felt the exact feeling of what it should be like to level at the proper pace. But I would love to see some nifty and interesting things. It's just maybe instead of grinding mobs to get there, maybe it's like you have to do a lot more quests or a lot more things to get there. Like you said, interesting stuff as well. And that's part of the reason why I'm thinking story arcs are going to be a part of it, because I'm imagining story arcs will have a good amount of XP, considering you can only do it once per the entire server, and for that choice to be cemented. So it's one of those things, like once the server overarchingly chooses a path, and that's the path that gets chosen, you can never go back. You can go to a different server that maybe made a different choice, but you can never go back. You can probably see what the other alternative would have been, but it will never affect your server the way that that would have affected your server. So I'm curious to see what that would be like. And who knows, maybe there's subsequent XP, maybe like half the XP for going through, like the effort of going through another pathway to see what that arc would have been like. I'd like to see some options at least with that.
Myself, I like to grind a lot. That's but I also enjoy good quests. But I think what Vertex is kind of just thinking about the grind mentality. I think what we're going to see, and you're going to see a lot more of it, I think, in this coming up phase 3, is quests will be involved. And, especially just in that leveling guide itself, those are all quests. So they're going to be involved. And what's good is if you have a nice mix where you don't force somebody to either do grind or you don't force somebody to do quests. They can have a nice choice. We're going to hopefully have attunements that a quest chain will lead us to. Quest chains are fun, and they often lead to really good results and experience and items even. So players will find out those good quest chains, mix in some grinding along the way, and it should be a nice mix. And I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
And I think that that's already pretty much set up. Like Steven's already teed it up to be that way. That's actually something I've mentioned in a couple of the videos that I've made. And that's one of the things I wanted to make as like chat wanted me to make a tavern keeper's guide to Vera for the newbie. And so I was going to like let them know you don't have to just do questing or grinding. You can choose. In fact, Steven wants you to choose. And you see that in the fact that if you are adding in the artisan system, if you're adding in the questing system and the grinding system, some mobs will drop recipes. So you need to grind those mobs for the recipes. Also, you need to grind mobs for materials. Or you could do quests and other things to make money to then buy it off of the marketplace if you don't want to go grind. But like it's all like a nice little choose your own a la carte platter of like, I want this and this today. I want this and that tomorrow. And I just want this one on like Thursday. And that way you are choosing which systems you want to participate in, or which things you want to just ignore for a bit. But Quinn says, I just like good gameplay loops, which is fair. Like, I think Intrepid has it set up pretty nicely for some really good gameplay loops. And I also wanted to say, what do you guys think? Okay, so we're getting tier 4 nodes, right? So, 0 is wilderness, crossroads, encampments, I think, villages, towns. And with towns, I believe Master comes along. Do you think we'll see level 30 in phase 3?
I think we have to.
I'd love to see it.
Well, I mean, in phase
some
3...
of those nodes. Oh, go ahead, Bert.
Oh, no, go ahead. It was your turn. I just thought you were done.
I was just going to say that some of these, not only do we need to test some stuff and hopefully augments soon after, but some of the mobs like the Jundark and stuff like that are already level 30. So if you make the town, they're going to be level 40. How are you going to kill them?
Right.
Because especially with the new changes. So they're going to have to update the leveling cap. Maybe not right away, but it's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing that Bozen said, which is P3 is going to go all the way up till the beta, so it's going to be up to a complete game. So sometime in phase 3, they're going to have all the level stuffs.
Oh, I agree. I was just more so meaning like towards the beginning. Sorry.
I was just going to say now, if you mean like at the beginning of phase 3, I think they're probably going to stick with level 25 myself. I think they're bringing on so much other stuff that adding another 5 levels and all the complication and balance that might come with that, just add 5 levels would probably not be a thing that they do.
Give them a month.
Mr. New Tacit says level cap will come with the class tree reworks, maybe. But honestly, I could totally see like not level cap coming, but like the next iteration of level cap. So after they test the secondary archetypes for tank and cleric, and then they test the other secondary archetypes. Once those are good, I could see them being put up to 30 to be like, okay, these work to 25. Now let's test them to 30. And make sure that nothing is broken, so we're balancing all the secondary archetypes as well. Which I think that's going to be the bigger chore for Intrepid, to be honest, is balancing the secondaries and the 64 class balance in general. I'm sure they have an idea of which rock, paper, scissors situation they want to go with, but I'm curious to see how the flavors adjust how strong or maybe not as strong a certain class is as a primary class.
Yeah, and then the other question is then going to be how much focused testing at specific level points do they want to get for everything? Because you never know, they could want to get testing of every core system that can be impacted or influenced by a level 25 versus a level 50. They might want to wait until you get all that in, test it at level 25 before they add any other levels.
The way I see it with the whole leveling process in Alpha 3 in general, it's going to be a year, you said, right? At least a year.
Yeah.
I give it 2.
Interest in the...
You give it 2.
I mean, to keep interest in the game, he's going to need to release things in segments. The Summoner, the Renkai, more Naval, Sport Fishing, all the new biomes, all this stuff's going to need to entice players come back. Monster coins, all this stuff's gonna need to keep players coming in, to keep things fresh. Level caps, all that stuff's gonna need. Metropolis, all that stuff, or city, I guess now. All that stuff's gonna need to be brought in segments, not all at once, because then everybody would get bored and walk away. So
also that'd be like very overwhelming. Like, which do I test first? At least this way they have a bit more focus around these tests, and they're like, okay, well, we're integrating the guild storage system, so please go through and test this and make sure it's working properly. Okay, now we're adding this new tool into the system that we promised a while back that we finally have finished, etc. But yeah, I don't know, I think it's really fun. By the way, real quick, call back to what you just said. I know there's a couple of you that have totally checked out over the last couple of months, and you're like, what do you mean there's no Metropolis? So Intrepid has decided that City, the original plan of what City was kind of like a bootleg Metropolis, like, a Shein Metropolis, where like it wasn't quite a metropolis, but it was almost a metropolis. So they just decided that it wasn't meaningful content. So they cut out City, and they gave the community the chance to say, do you want it to be a village, then town, then metropolis, a village city, then metropolis, a village, town, then city, and just rename metropolis to be city instead? And that's what ultimately the community voted for. I don't know if anybody else has covered this, is that they wanted it to be town and then city to keep that progression and remove the verbiage for metropolis. So Intrepid is really doing a bunch of changes to village, to town, things like that. So village will get a couple extra buildings, like 2, I think, extra buildings, and then town will get double the buildings that they're supposed to get. And then metropolis will be the way that metropolis is. We're supposed to be as a city instead of a metropolis verbiage. But yeah, and then the other thing is, I forgot what somebody said I was going to respond to. I still don't get why we need monster coins. It's supposed to be a fun PvE, PvP event where if I don't want to engage in PvP directly, I can totally siege a node as an event as a monster and invoke a monster coin system.
Yeah, it's also if you can take a monster coin to participate in a monster invasion event and actually have an influence on it, you could actually injure a city or town's infrastructure buildings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then if you were to also say, I don't know, siege them or declare war on them, they might be weak after that.
Can you please pin Sir Onsington's? I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's
no.
just too funny.
That's kind of the way I was hoping that the events, and like you were talking about earlier, Chibi, was the story arcs. I hope that what the players do in the area will result in, like, you know, back in the day, Ultima Online used to have events where, you know, monsters would just attack the city for no reason, you know, for just whatever reason. But whatever the players do, so if you, like in one of their videos, if you awaken a dragon or you awaken the goblins, you have like, all of a sudden you have a huge wave of goblins that attack you, and there's like 3 waves, and it's up to the citizens to rally through their citizen global chat and come defend their town. And then you finish up with like the goblin boss that comes in, and that's where you could use your monster coin or something like that. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh wait, I have to do it for tech.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think you can also, like you were hinting at for a second there before I distracted you with Sir Onsington's chat, is like, you can attack the infrastructure of that node, and then now that node has to repair. That could be a planned thing if you know that node is gonna get sieged. And you really don't want that node to survive.
Well, I think I could be wrong. This is just remembering off the top of my head, but I think the monster coin things were going to be when a monster invasion event was triggered naturally by what players did.
It's been a while.
Use a monster coin to take part in that event. So it's not like you could plan it necessarily, but you could potentially plan the siege or declare war after the fact.
Yeah.
So you could go the other way around.
You guys think Vassal should be able to attack the parent node?
Yes.
Yeah, that was something we talked about a long time ago. I forgot. Yeah. I mean,
he's firmly in the camp of you've already lost that contest, but you didn't really necessarily, like the town today was not necessarily the village of yesterday. Right. Like different people, potentially more people, potentially different method of acting,
different mayorship,
behaving. Yeah, different mayorship. There's been a whole different intent of people to move away from that metropolis or city or town to other places because they don't like how it's being run, and people keep winning it that they don't want to win, so they move. But if they go to anything around it, all they're doing is supporting that other node staying in power. They literally have to leave basically that continent, right? They have to get at least 7 nodes away from where they were to make sure that there's no experience getting back to that other one, keeping it afloat.
That's a great question, Triple. I don't know if there's a cooldown between a war and a siege. I do believe there are a number of decks that you can do. At least with guild decks, you can do up to 3, but that's because people are like constantly guild decking.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, Dribble.
I'm spitballing, but I think it's 7 days. But I'm not 100%.
But like between both, like you siege somebody, but also you are node warring them.
I think there's 7 days, but I'm not sure. Not possible.
Okay. Fair. So we're having a really great conversation. The last thing I really want to talk about, and we can just talk about whatever after if we want. Azure put up this conversation. This goes into like more of us talking about immersion and things like that. So Azure was asking about, like, in an effort to think about ways for there to be more immersive things. When games develop over time, they sometimes would need to change or replace well-known systems to add more immersive elements, not only for balancing, but might also like add more intrigue. So a simple example in a game that only has 2 types of weather, is like the weather is very like additive. So like perhaps there's something where there's a light rain, a heavier rain, monsoon rain, and like flurries for the colder areas. And maybe one of the things that you want to do is only during monsoon season. So that would kind of, you'd have to wait for the weather to turn into a monsoon for that event to occur, which I'd love to see something like this. And I think Intrepid is fully capable of doing this, considering the fact that they already have within the PTR commission boards where you have to hunt ravens, wolves, and grem, and the wolves only come out at night. So that is something that I'm already starting to see where like they're iterating specific types of commissions for undead weather. Of course you do, Vale. Different commissions that are like having precurses on them. So I'd love to see something maybe with a certain type of weather pattern. But do you see it worth the change if it adds mechanics, or do you think that the game shouldn't make changes like this where, you know, you'd at minimum to be able to have chances to be able to doing the thing that you wanted to, even though it's reduced, could be interesting because you have to wait for the monsoon.
Yeah, I would be okay with that as long as it didn't last too long. If it interrupted some players' plans for the time being, that's fine. You know, they've always talked for a long time about their dynamic weather system, and even regarding mages and stuff like that, how fire and ice are going to make steam and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, they've always talked about that kind of stuff. I don't know if they really need to do that stuff. I think it's kind of like a little bit of scope creep. I think maybe down the road if they want to do it, that's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to like a mudslide or something like that in the tropics has now uncovered a secret cave or something like that. That could be kind of cool. Yeah. We've already seen ice melting that reveal caves and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see that.
Is it bad? Maybe it's just because of living where we live. But when you said mudslide, I immediately thought of like a theme park or something. I was like, that'd be pretty cool to get a water slide in the tropics. I could be done with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm of the camp that I love stuff that is more immersive, especially if it adds things to the game.
Yeah.
And not just added just for visual flair. If it actually adds something to the game, I think that's pretty cool.
How about this for immersive? How about we get gliders for phase 3? Do you want players to have gliders where we can explore the world more? Now, I can't remember if you guys played Arcage, but I'm an Arcage guy, and the gliders over there in Arcage were awesome. And they right now, I feel like mounts that the mayors have and something the castle queens are going to have. It's so exclusive. I would like the players to be. You see the anvils and how they have the high plateaus. Mm-hmm. I want to see. That's
a perfect time to iterate it. Yep. That's something that we talked about, I think, like a couple Tuesdays ago when I was able to join. I had to do my training, so I missed one of them. But yeah, being able to glide off of a higher area, would love to see it. And honestly, I would love to see like Taylor be able to come up with like, or even Arcane Engineer come up with like a certain type of glider that you can make at like Grandmaster level that is like a perk for that. But I was gonna say, Bosun says not everyone can play 12 hours a day. Some average players will only get 1 or 2 hours after work and have to wait 5 hours for specific weather is not casual friendly. And my response to that is like, I hear what you're saying, I do, but there's a lot of things that's already not casual friendly. We don't know when the boss is going to spawn. If you need something from a boss and the boss isn't up, that's not casual friendly. If he's never up when you're on, that's already a very core part of this game that ends up not being casual friendly in that
I'm just saying
case.
In general, if you want to do a PvE activity, you're not going to be able to be casual and actually do all the PvE activities you want, or even half of them, to be honest. Because you're going to get chased out of the area, or it's going to be slain already, or it's going to have a rotating PvP lawless zone on it, or somebody else is going to have it taken over and they're going to be camping it and saying, no, sorry, you're just not going to get any experience from anything because we're just going to take it all because we're going to overpower you and out damage you.
I mean, we're seeing that with the rotating lawless zones, but I also wanted to add, Vertec, this is your environment getting in the way of PvPing possibly, because the environment is affecting the player in this case. So there's your PvE affecting a PvPer.
How so? Which one?
Well, just the monsoon and things like that, where certain things are happening. You know, maybe you're used to being able to fight in an area that you were PvPing in, and an event happens with the weather that like kind of makes that area like now sorry, it's literally flooded. You have to swim. You can't fight here now.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that's environment versus everything though.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah.
I will say real quick, if I could, what Bozen was talking about as far as the casuals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one nice thing is that the Intrepid is doing is like some of those big siege events and stuff like that they really might want to participate in. Yeah, because they're doing them in prime time. So if you're on those hours, or maybe you can play those hours. Now, if you work during those, there's nothing Intrepid can do. But I think having those in prime time, that kind of helps you out a little bit. You know, maybe you telling the wife, hey, I got to play for a few hours and I'm going to do it during this time. Something like that.
Well, there's
I'm
also
just saying not everybody could be as lucky as I am with Vertec.
Yeah, right. But there's also something to be said about if you can survive the ping, just adjusting your playtime to another server's prime time.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you can't play during your time zone's prime time because of children. But once you put them to bed at 8, 9 p.m., you've got a solid 3-4 hours that you can play, and you usually stay up late anyway. So there you go. Adjust to wherever that is prime time. That's your server.
Makes sense.
Honestly. But also, I will say, and I'm not to like poo-poo on the casuals, because I get it. I'm probably going to be somewhat casual throughout the week, but very hardcore on the weekends. And it's going to be one of those things where if I miss out on a piece of content, I mean, you hope that you have a good guild with you. You hope that you have a good group of friends where you can be like, hey, if this thing hops up, please help me, because I want this thing. I will pay you for it. I will give you like this trade for that, etc. Like that's the whole point of having like a communal type of environment is, you know, trading and bartering and socializing with other people. I know this crazy concept of socializing, but I genuinely think that, you know, if done well, Intrepid and Ashes of Creation by default could bring about a new boom of socializing within video games. Besides, hop on, I'm in the lobby for this game. Right.
But I mean, we'll see what happens there. There's definitely going to be a rough life for the true casual. But I know Steven said a couple times like there's going to be some things that are made for casual players. So it's just definitely not going to be much of the game. It's kind of like how Chibi and I are kind of finding out that a lot of Ashes isn't going to be necessarily designed for us because we're not huge fans of world-based random open PvP.
Yep.
We like the objective-based stuff, and we like going somewhere with a purpose to accomplish something. And that's the type of stuff we like. But when it's just, I just want to see how many noobs I can slay today. Let's see if I can go farming for ore. Or you're not a miner. You've already grandmastered all your stuff and journeyman and all that. Yeah. Well, see what I'm going to do is I'm going to go kill a bunch of people that are mining, and that's how I'm going to get my ore.
One of the things that I think that could be really good for players who don't typically like PvP, I think like now the castle battles are going to be far and few between because it's going to be like once every month or something like that. So I think Intrepid has something really special with the castle battles. We all remember them for Alpha 1, how fun they were. And I feel like that's a perfect environment for a player who is always worried about getting ganked one-on-one or in small group combat or something like that. They're in a much larger, even protected environment, being up in the ramparts and being a defender. They can kind of assimilate themselves into PvP a little bit easier and maybe find it very enjoyable. I am hoping that Intrepid takes that system and kind of spins off on that. And I know you guys didn't play Dark Age of Camelot, but I would love to see them eventually add in like a smaller version of the castle that could be done on more of a daily content situation to give players the chance to be able to see what a castle and fight environment is like, kind of like a test almost, to be used to it. Get those players a chance to be surrounded by more to protect them so they feel safer. And then maybe it gives them an opportunity to like PvP more, at least in that environment.
Yeah. And I mean, he's already trying to include things like in a village, you can do some things with farming and cooking and things like that. So there's limited things that he's enabled within the nodes for the casual to be able to have access to these things. However, I mean, one of the cool changes, and I'm going to kind of hold a lot of my thoughts on this. One of the cool changes is that they are trying to find a diverse variety ways, I guess, myriad of ways for people to be able to accomplish getting a tavern, or sorry, I'm thinking tavern because freehold and tavern are the same in my head, so that's what we're going to do with the freehold, but getting a freehold in the first place. So it could be maybe through a certain type of currency that they're able to accrue over time to then get a freehold, not just being like the richest person necessarily. So I found that interesting, and I can't wait to see more about what they're going to do with that. But real quick, just to toss this out there, if you guys like PvP stuff, this person named Aria Yeshi, I've noticed they put so many PvP ideas onto the forums. So if you are a forum browser and you like to look around and see like what people are talking about on the forums, they've gotten like extreme PvP, like the Lich or something like that. And there were so many, literally I saw you commenting on a couple of those, but there's so many like food for thought posts on like different ways to have some extreme PvP. And I've seen them around for a bit, so it's just, one of those things that if you guys are interested in it, just worth a shout out since they posted a lot recently. But what were you gonna add anything else to the whole casual person thing and the freeholds? Ian?
Oh, me? No, not as far as the casual stuff. I just, like I mentioned, it'd be nice I want to be able to see PvP or PvE, PvP casuals be able to be involved in. I just feel like some kind of a keep battler, or like Ludulu said, I didn't play Lineage 2, said they had fortresses. If they do plan on something like that down the road, I think that could be a lot of fun to help introduce people into a more safer environment of PvP, where they're not being targeted every second they step on the field.
Yeah, that's fair. Vertec, do you have anything else you want to talk about on this topic? If not, I have some announcements, shares.
No, go for it.
Okay. So, just as a heads up, Nice Gaming is going to be having Steven on his podcast. And we, as a lot of you know, are going to have Steven on as well. I am going to be sharing the date when I'm able to, and when we have one planned out and everything. So keep your ears out. I don't know. I just saw a post. It's literally here on, an interview with director Maggie. Yep. I just saw a Reddit post while I was out. Like, again, I've been out this last week with training. I saw it pop up. So I was like, oh, cool. That's awesome. Either way, it's an Intrepid interview. It's still the same point. We've had Maggie on our podcast before. And thank you, Church. Cheers.
Thank you, Church. Oh, it's all gone. I'm going to have to cheers with something else. Where is it? Oh.
But it's just, we've had Maggie on. She's a great interviewee, and she's a lot of fun. But yes, she's having she's joining Nice for that. We are having Steven on regardless. Steven announced it before we had any information, so that was a very fun couple of weeks of like, I don't know, but eventually. How are y'all liking the PTR? I like it a lot. Thank you, Zenny. Thank you, or Zine. I don't remember which one it is, but thank you. so that's kind of a dupe. Also, I wanted to say, if you have not heard, which if you've been away from the streams a little bit, Intrepid is doing a giveaway, a Gleam giveaway, I believe for what, 100 keys or something like that.
There's a couple at least.
Yeah, there's a couple at least. You can get about 11 entries through the Gleam giveaway. And so if you don't have access to Alpha 2, or if your friend doesn't have access to Alpha 2, you should go and try and do that. That's a cool thing. We're going to put our lot into it. If we can get a key, we will give it away here. We always want to try and give back to the community as much as we possibly can. And then to follow that, their live stream is July 31st. So just to kind of get that out there and about, yeah. So live stream July 31st. They're going to talk about Alpha 2 Phase 3, what to expect for things like that. And then finally, kind of a fun piece of news. I mean, Steven being on is very fun, but I also wanted to announce that Vertec and I are going to PAX West again this year. And thanks to you guys, we hit more like demolished a subscriber goal to stream while we're at PAX West. So we are working on seeing who else is going to be there. So if you're going to go to PAX West, we would love to meet you. We're bringing our Tavern gear, so we'll be rocking out in Tavern garb, and we'll be around and things like that. And who knows what kind of fun stuff we can get up to. Last year was a lot of fun. And I'm very excited, and we're planning out what to bring with us so that we can do that live stream for you guys.
And still trying to figure out and nail down exactly what we're going to be doing for a stream. It's going to really depend on what we have for
Access
assets
to
there
and things.
and the internet connection and all that stuff. It may not be a walking around stream, put it that way. It might be at the end of the day when we can hardwire into an internet connection that's not Wi-Fi,
an Ethernet,
dependent on cell signal.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll let you guys know. We'll keep you in the loop as soon as we know anything new. But yeah, that's kind of my community announcements. And also, if you haven't yet, Pockets has been doing some quests, weekly quests on the live server. Because a lot of these need to be reported to Ash's Moments, and so you can't take visual screenshots or recordings from PTR, although it has been so fun watching things break on PTR. So yeah, I think that's just one other thing I wanted to throw out there. We've been making like the little graphics and stuff for him, so very, very fun. I really enjoyed the caravan thing, so
watching things break is one of my favorite pastimes.
But is there any other topics that either of you can think of?
I'm sure we could probably find plenty if we're talking about any other topics. But as far as anything pressing to talk about right now, or else I will die. I will log off unhappy. No. I think I'm good. I think I'm in a content place for getting stuff off my mind.
Awesome. All right. Well, Peon. Oh, well, hold on. Zine's asking what's been happening on PTR. I haven't heard much or been on at all. Oh, there's been a lot. We've already tested dynamic griddings. There's changing mount movements. Everybody who has access to Alpha 2 has access to the PTR. And there are constant updates to the PTR notes section on what they want to test and how everything's going. They've already put in the commission caches for completing commissions. And we found out that if you do the killing commissions, you get 1 cache box. If you do the gatherable commissions, you get 3 cache boxes, things like that. There's literally so much I could go into, but I can do a more elaborate conversation on Discord with all the things if you'd like.
Apparently there's been some graphics optimizations that I still need to get in and experience.
5.6 is on the PTR. It's gorgeous. I love it. So yep.
Favorite
and,
bug was the giant dwarf or the giant Nakua. Do you guys remember that?
Yes,
I heard about that. I didn't get to see it. I was busy like being at work doing work stuff.
I didn't see a Nikua. I saw a Kalar but they
Okay.
were still like humongous. And then I had a bug report because there was a person so large. One, I couldn't see them. Two, it bogged down my entire gameplay. Like everything came to like a screeching halt. And then they went away, or I got away far enough from them that it went back to normal. And I was just like, what was that?
So picture this. I'm logging in, and you know how you have the arch in Lionhold. I start heading out through the arch. What do I see? I see a giant Nakua face hovering over the mountain with his face there, bigger than the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, dwarfing Tumok. This thing was enormous, and it was just like the collision. You couldn't do anything around it. He'd block everything you tried to do. It was absolutely hysterical. So lovely.
Yeah.
Just sit down in
it
front
was
of
very
the
fun.
Lionhold entryway.
Yeah. And as Oracle said, Vassalship has been in testing. I saw it like a couple of days ago, and it tells you in the node relationships manager who's vassaled who and who's not vassaled by anything. So I thought that was really, really cool. So they've got that going. But yeah, there's so many things, literally so many things. But yeah, just I would say make sure you have access to the Discord and give it a perusal. They give a lot of updates on what they're doing at the PTR. So not to not answer it, but I would literally be here all day if I answered everything. But Peon, I was gonna say, after our podcast here, what is one thing that you want people to take away, that you're taking away from our show?
One thing that I'm taking away from your show,
Yep. From like what we talked about today, the thing that stood out to you.
Vertex lack of is how you guys like corruption. I love corruption. How Vertex hates PvP. Let's see. What else? Just really your engagement with the community. I just love how you guys engage with the community, and it's been a lot of fun. You guys are great for the community, and I'm excited to see you talking with Steven. And yeah, just enjoyable as usual with you guys.
I appreciate that. It's nice to have a convergence of the taverns.
Indeed, indeed.
Even if, you guys are the goodies of the taverns,
What if instead of having so many smaller taverns, we had just a big mega tavern, just where all the patrons could go to?
Well, I could charge you guys rent.
Oh, whoa. Let's just build a bigger roof, okay? Let's build
We can do that. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, real quick, I hope that in phase 3, that's since I have a freehold now, that's one of the things that they do. I'd really like to see them add permissions to the freeholds. I think that would help tremendously. I don't know if you guys would agree or not, but
I'd also like for them to finish building the freehold so you can put the different plots on them. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'd be okay with 2 things on a freehold having some form of permission set up. One being your actual house, like your house building, and the other being an actual business building, a building of business. You should be able to absolutely, even if it costs you some extra taxes because you have to hire a sheriff to live on your property or whatever the lore and names and all that is, even if it costs you some extra money, you should be able to set some permissions to say this person always causes problems and I just need them to not exist here. In the same way that you can ban a player from your game, you should be able to ban somebody from your place of business. Like they're always going to be kicked out, because if I'm here alone and I can't fight them alone because they're just a massive boss of a PvP monster, number 1 in the tournament and number 1 in the arenas and all that, what am I going to do? Just stand there and get harassed is what's going to happen. It's going to stand there and get harassed on my own freehold, in my own place of business. Any patrons that I have are going to get harassed because unless we group up and keep fighting them off, like, why should we have to do that? I should be able to just say, no, let's get this harassing fool off my property.
I agree. I think there should be a refusal of service, and not only with taverns, but with market stalls as well. Now, I know Steven said in the past that they weren't intending on putting that in, but I think it at the very least give you the option to charge him double or something like that.
There you go.
Get off
the
my
vendor
lawn.
item. There should be, and that goes hand in hand with tying things to people's reputation. If you have a dirtbag reputation, it should precede you, and you should face some consequences for that.
Maybe you don't get access to the tavern because you have a bad reputation. Yeah, exactly. Get off the stage. Mm-hmm. That's funny. But yeah, I think my takeaway for one is that I think a lot of us really want to see the caravan system flourish. And I think that a lot of us are very interested in seeing more immersion. Obviously, there's scope creep with a lot of this stuff, but PTR overall is going well. And I think that the more we're able to test these things and give our feedback, the better Intrepid can make it, really. And I'm really excited to see phase 3. I've honestly been of the opinion, I don't think that they should push it back at all. There's a whole conversation where Vladis and I were on opposite sides, and someone in our comment section was mad that we both made really good points, and we were making it hard for them to choose whether or not they should push it back. But honestly, I think there's a lot of things that are going to be tested. And my one comment that I'd made in one of the forum threads was I feel like if we push it back for Summoner or for Renkai, there's always going to be another thing to push it back for, and we'll never actually get it. So better just to rip off the Band-Aid, just get into phase 3, because it's the last phase of Alpha 2 anyway, where a lot more things are coming eventually. And so that's just kind of overall like my view on that. Also, I just want to say real quick, y'all have been asking, either directly or indirectly, I am bringing back Coffee Quest to the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
So it may not be tomorrow, but it'll be soon. But tomorrow I do have Tales of Fablecraft, so that'll be coming over. But yeah, I'm excited for that. We'll be hanging out. We'll be sipping some caffeine and doing some ashes together. So I'm pretty excited for that. But my biggest takeaway is you should go check out Peon. He's pretty cool. Has a lot of good takes. Has a lot of controversial takes. Our first interview with you were against me with the cleric, but I loved it. It was very fun. But honestly, I think it's very important to consider different perspectives and things like that. Like you were saying, you're of the older generation, but I think that there is value in that because your prime gaming was before me with the original World of Warcraft game and a lot of these other games getting stood up for the first time, and seeing the progression of not only technology but how MMOs develop and how some of them stay true to their core of what an MMO is like. I'm very, very excited, and I think that's a very good viewpoint to have. So yeah, Vertec, all you, as we apparently are going out with a fight.
Going out with a fight. Oh shoot. Let me do that thing here. Pow, 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 pow.
Yep.
Jumping
Pocket
in.
started a champion of the hill.
I hope you're right, Chibi, about the sticking to the dates. I think that's really important that they stick to the dates. There's always going to be a moving target in respect to new content, and I think people should just get rid of that thought that, I know Intrepid doesn't want to wipe, but I think that they should just embrace that. Wipes are going to be needed every 3 to 6 months, I think, and just get used to it. There's lots of stuff that need to be tested. So just take what we get, test it, and let's move on. But stick to the dates. It's important.
Absolutely.
True story. All right, well, hanging out.
You went. Okay, you're back.
Huh? What? Who?
You put your microphone and you cut out.
Okay, I have returned. It was a short vacation.
It was.
A quick little trip. TGFTavern is the champion of the hill. That's a good time to run away. Using the sandal. The flippity flop.
Rigged.
That's a perfect way to go out for the day.
I used a flip flop. I think we should raid Dusty.
Yar. Yeah, I looked through the the Ash's channel. There's not really people doing much, or not many people, I should say.
Yeah, to be fair, 2.5 is currently kind of not really popping, and you can't really show anything to do with PTR. There is a
zombie theory. Yep, I was just we're on the same wavelength there. We're on the same wavelength.
Is this a zombie?
I think so.
Yeah, Dusty's got to know if it's zombie.
Okay. I prefer going to the new people, the smaller viewership peoples. And Zombie was really, really awesome. So why not? And also I see Astragas over there, who's also one of the newer people that have also been streaming. So let's go give love to the little guy, which is what our favorite thing is. Not like calling them a small streamer, but like they got like 3 views. Let's go give them some
people have
love.
Less viewers. Yeah, exactly.
So
people have less viewers.
Vertec, do your thing, and I will get the raid going about halfway through it. So that way we don't...
And Chibi, you're going to want to keep an eye on our ending screen, by the way. Something might be there.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works.
Okay.
Something new. But all right, folks. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for spending your time here. As you know, if you've been here before, we always let you know and inform you that it is your most valuable commodity. No matter what you think, you never get it back. You get it once, and then that moment is gone. Well, you spent all of those little moments here, and we really hope it's been worthwhile for you. If it's not, too bad, so sad we don't give refunds. Sorry. But either way, we do appreciate your time, though, and we would not be here without you. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you around next time.
Bye.
Bye.